I'm Amanda May here at D Zank House with the Making Room podcast. Today we will be learning about making room for our practice with Sierra Fancher. Said your name right?
Yes.
And Sierra is currently exhibiting here at D Zank House with a show titled Silver Linings, which can we just start right there? But after an intro first, tell us about yourself a little.
Yeah.
As to where you went to school and.
Okay, sounds good. Hi. I am Sierra Fancher. I grew up in Saline, Michigan, and then have been kind of living mostly in MC since about 2018. Hooray. And yeah, went to school at EMU, got my degree in 2D design, but obviously through COVID kind of impacting my time at EMU, kind of put off a whole bunch of different credits, so by the end of when I was graduating, I was mostly doing 3D classes, and so while I have a 2D design degree, I have many a work in the 3D realm.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So yeah, did that, graduated in December of 22, and then worked at a university out in central Pennsylvania for about a year, called Bucknell as their sculpture studio technician, and then worked at the Ann Arbor Art Center as their exhibitions manager for just under a year as well.
Wow. Woo. Yeah, and we love your exhibition. Yes, you do have 3D work as well as 2D work, as well as your whole bedroom setup, which is so cool. We'll get to that. But this title, Silver Linings, can you expand a little on that?
Yeah, as a general, silver linings, at least to my knowledge and research on it, is essentially when it's like dark, rainy, stormy, all that kind of jazz, but then the light kind of starts to peek behind the clouds and you have that bright line kind of cascading around the cloud, and it's just like the hope of the thing upcoming. And I don't know, I just really liked the kind of sentiment behind it as well as the physical action visually. And I felt like it was a pretty good kind of example of what I was doing.
I love it, silver linings. We need silver linings, honestly. And I also love in your statement, I may not say it as beautifully as you do, but this like melting and blending that you do between your works. Like we have this beautiful piece here that says, "Did you cry?" And then for those watching, you can't see, but please come out and see in person. We have an armoire right here that is also carved out, and the mirror has what is it?
The frosting.
Thank you, the frosting. Ooh, I like frosting. Typically at cake. So okay, yeah. So this carving and the mirror frosting, and then this like blending and mixing between mediums. Can you expand on that for us?
Yeah, I know, I guess in my statement that I wrote, it's kind of like paintings turn into sculpture, where it's like I made this on a flat surface, imagining it as a painting, but now it's an installation, which makes it a 3D work, or vice versa. Kind of taking a 3D work, but then projecting a flat 2D image onto it and kind of painting it in. Kind of the cross-pollination of kind of different visual techniques that are used in traditional painting, kind of put into the sculpture realm, and then as I'm learning more about sculpture, just based on doing, kind of putting that into my painting practice as well, making paintings that are kind of topological?
No.
I think that's the word. So a little bit of topology to them, so they're kind of coming in and out of a surface rather than just being kind of flat or just thicker brushstroke. So, but that's just me geeking about painting.
And how to make it sculptural.
And how to make it sculptural, yes, absolutely.
That's so cool. I love that. And I'm curious, did you cry? You've shared. Where does that come from?
Yeah, I know my family generally, as I feel like many families, kind of have this kind of shut-in version of what an emotion is, and it's called just pack it down and pretend it doesn't exist, which is totally fine. But I mean, I was always kind of revered as the emotional one of the family, and so my sister would always kind of razz me and go like, "Oh, did you cry about it?" And I mean, honestly, the answer was yes, I did, but I didn't want to necessarily say that to her, so I was like, "No, I did." But it's kind of just like a poking fun and prodding at kind of statement for me, that I then kind of took out of that context and kind of melded it into a lot of the work that I was making, particularly for this room, that is actually fully tied to grief and like loss.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, the work. Yeah. Before knowing more about it, when I had just been able to see your work online or in photos you've shared, every time I see this statement, "Did you cry?" I'm just like, yes, I did. Like, it really resonates with me, and I think it really resonates with a lot of our audience. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting where it comes from, but also like so impactful in many ways. So
Absolutely.
thank you. Yeah. So you did mention that it ties in with grief. And as an artist who also works with grief in a different way, it's interesting to see how that grief works out. And you have 3 different distinct rooms here. Can you explain how maybe those 3 different rooms also connect with grief?
Yeah, I would say so kind of my ideation for the rooms was kind of doing a past, present, and future. And so the room that we're currently sitting in is the past room, not only because it was a lot of work from undergrad, but also because it was a lot of the kind of on the ground feelings of moving through the grief originally. And so it is definitely the most visceral room in regards to that, for sure. And kind of, like I said, on the ground kind of feeling, versus another room, you can't see in the video, is an installation of my bedroom. It's everything that's a part of my room currently, and so it has my bed and my dressers and all my knickknacks and all my safe keeps and everything is in there, and all itemized on the wall. But that's kind of the present room, kind of just, I don't know, having things from the past for sure kind of included into it, as well as things that have yet or not yet necessarily become actualized. I mean, there's a lot of a sketchbook not finished and a whole bunch of other kind of items in line with that as well. And so it's really just the present room. It's where I live. It's what I use every day. It's all of my things. And then, kind of finalizing with the future room, which is definitely the most, I don't know if I'd use the word ethereal, but what's happening in this room kind of space. I mean, it's just these dyed bed sheets across the entire floor that kind of make the floor just a colorscape of yellow, with a life-size paper mache guy, his name is Fred, that is just sitting in the middle and looking out side of the gallery space through the windows and kind of just like wondering, or I guess in my mind, he's wondering what's necessarily out there and what's next and what's happening, and kind of ready to necessarily move past this kind of potential blank space and start filling it with something.
Ooh. Love that.
Thank you.
Yellow seems to be like a color that might represent hope.
Yeah, yep, absolutely.
Sunshine.
Yep, silver lining.
Silver linings. I love that. And I do want to say this paper mache Fred was your body form.
Yes, yeah, no. So I like cling wrapped myself and then duct taped myself and then cut the duct tape off of myself with help. And then, filled it with newspaper, newsprint, just material to kind of give it form, and then paper mache onto it, and then kind of made the head and painted it all yellow.
Because it would not be wise to.
It would not be wise to necessarily do that whole body form inside. Yes, absolutely.
But that's so fascinating, and we really look forward to having you host a workshop, perhaps in the fall, for paper mache, or maybe full body, maybe just an arm or a leg.
Yeah.
So, because spooky season's coming up, someone might make a zombie-like thing. That's so cool. How has it felt to know that people are buying items from your bedroom? Like you've put a price on all of the items on your unmasked list, which I did find something not on it, and you did.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
It's just my friend was asking how much it was, and we looked and we couldn't find the motorcycle clock. But I was like, oh man, I gotta ask Sierra. But how has that felt to know that there are honestly cherished items of yours that people may buy? I kind of felt guilty wanting to buy that really cool jacket.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of a catch-20 with the idea is I don't know, part of me was like, maybe this is a bad idea because it'll feel like a garage sale. And then I was like, no, well, it has something that really means something to me, and that's not going to feel like that. And I mean, I did price things out for how I felt okay, I guess if I had to change this into a monetary, I would change it to this, but I don't really want to, so I guess it's raising, and then kind of play back and forth kind of raised some of the items to kind of an exorbitant amount, but realistically what it is, I mean, there's a completely filled journal in there where it's okay, this has everything that I experienced for the last 3 years or a 3-year period. I don't know, someone else had that in their life. It's kind of a little crazy, and also if I were to lose that, that's kind of a little crazy. So that's obviously one of the higher marked items versus a little tiny collectible guy that I enjoy collecting. I don't know, if somebody really likes him, then I could just use the money to get another one. And that's kind of equating to me. So it doesn't necessarily, I don't feel any sort of way other than kind of a little bit of an excitement. And not only that, I don't know, people finding joy within some of the things that I find joy in is enjoyable. Yeah.
It's really cool. I enjoy it. I love encouraging people to look in your drawers because they're what? I can look in the drawers? I'm everything in this room is for sale. You can look at all of the items, which is just really fun to think about. And then, again, relating it back to grief, in my personal experience with grief, I am not so tidy and curated, and so I find it really, really nice to see a different form, perhaps. And in some of those stores, may I ask you have jackets that belong to your grandmother?
Yeah. I have a couple kind of keepsake items kind of throughout the room, but included in the drawers as well. Like I have, I think, like 2 jackets that came from Granny's closet after she passed, and we were clearing things out. And I mean, like I have a framed picture of her and my grandfather. And then, I mean, I have a couple different pieces because she was a little craftier herself. I have a couple different crafts that she's made over the years before her passing, and so like those are more entire because I have particular feelings to them. And like, yes, it's just a rock that just has like a little painting on it that has a very classic art saying, but I mean that means so much more to me than a lot of the other things in the room that could potentially have a greater value in regards to like most other people.
And that's how it works too, right? Like what we hold on to and how we value it. You can't put a price on it.
Absolutely.
But you did. You had to.
Yes.
But you put a high price for the things.
Absolutely. Yes.
So, and the highest priced item is your polar bear.
Yes, the highest priced item is my childhood stuffed animal, a polar bear, affectionately named Polar Bear, by a 2-year-old me. But yeah, I mean, he's probably been washed 1,000 times, chewed on by a family dog, blah blah blah. But also like coddled every single night and tucked in as I leave the bed every day. So he's definitely one of the higher priced items for sure in my room, because I mean, like that's something that has always given me comfort personally. And I mean, to have him in the gallery space for even a month is kind of a little rough, but I mean, like that's the name of the game, and I chose to do it myself, so it is what it is. But yeah, he's definitely the highest priced item for sure, and I feel good about the price that I put him at because I don't think anyone's gonna touch it.
Yeah,
which is exactly what I wanted.
I completely agree. So good. And well, I want to end with this question that we like to ask all of our artists. Is the title of our podcast, and that is, how do you make room for your practice, your art, in your day-to-day life? Like, life gets busy. There's so many overwhelming factors that could prevent us from creating and expressing ourselves. So, Sarah Fancher, how do you make room for your practice?
Yeah, I would say like something that I always told some of the students that I worked with when I was working at Bucknell was just figure out all of, like, just even if you needed to write it down, like write a list of all the different things that you like doing. Okay, well I like going outside and I like taking pictures. Okay, cool. I like drawing in my little sketchbook with a pencil. Okay, awesome. I like collaging. Oh, I really like oil painting in this one particular way. Or I really like carving in this huge thing, and it's a ton of work, but it's really, really rewarding for me. And it's like, okay, write it all down. And then kind of depending on how you're feeling during the day, like you can kind of like tier out what kind of process you're able to do with the energy that you have during the day. I know that like I've personally not really done a ton of carving, even though I absolutely love carving, because I just don't have the space, I don't have the time, and I have a puppy at home that's going to eat some wood shavings, and so it's not going to work for me right now. But I love doing it. So I mean, vetoing to a different kind of mode that still kind of fills your little art cup, and kind of just doing some drawings or going on the walk and taking some photos and all that kind of stuff. Like that's much more manageable process, consistent process to potentially add in comparison to the higher degree of like energy and effort put in. So I mean, that's probably what I would say, kind of making room that way. I know personally, like I adopted a puppy in February, which is awesome and a half, but I mean, completely obliterated my art practice. I'm working on trying to get him to learn how to stay first, and leave things when I don't want him to touch them. And I mean, that is kind of just the name of the game. Life happens, you get stuff that kind of throws you off kind of course, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to drop everything that's potentially, again, filling your art cup. Like, there is the opportunity to kind of make in small ways. And I mean, extraneous from there, it's just finding the community in your area or inviting people over or whatever. I know I mentioned to Amanda that my roommate Claire and I, we did like collage nights a few times, where we just were like, hey, we're bringing snacks, we're bringing drinks, like everyone come over, collage your little heart out, stay the night if you need to, and then that's what we're gonna do. And so then we all are creating together, and so not only does it like potentially, if the social battery is filled with people, then great, it fills it there, as well as you get to make and see what other people are making too, which is inspiring, and then kind of cyclically expands your want to do it yourself.
So true. I do love creating with others and being able to see how they do a thing and how I wouldn't have thought of it.
Absolutely.
Or I connect it to a different project and I'm like, oh, that would help me do what I need to do.
Absolutely. And I mean, like, that's the coolest thing about like being in art school and stuff. But I mean, you don't necessarily have to go to art school to get that experience. You just need to find your little art friends that are around and wanting to do the same thing you're wanting to do in regards to just making. So.
I love that so much. We have collage nights here if you ever want to join. I believe they're second and fourth Tuesdays. And with that, we are done.
Yeah.
What a wrap! Thank you so much.
Yeah.